Okay. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। जय बाबा। Over to you, Prasad. जय बाबा.
एखादा काय मला दिसत नाही. एखादा काय करायचं मला दिसत नाहीये ते.
Yes. What we are talking about today, I am just opening up my own personal life. In fact, we won't be able to cover within one session. But then the preliminaries, how I came to know about Meher Baba, how was my previous life just before coming to know about Meher Baba. That I will be just telling today, and it will go on for perhaps couple of more sessions, because this is a long story. Basically, what I want to say that when somebody's life is destined to meet a Sadguru or Avatar, then the course of his life, all the happenings during his life, whether good or bad, they take him to the threshold of the beloved. It happens in every case. Supposing if I am to meet Baba, who is everything for us, the avatar of this age. If I am to meet him, then all the happenings in my life, in one way or the other, they lead me to his threshold. That is what actually happens in everybody's life. All those who have come in Baba's contact, in the contact of avatar of this time, they are connected closely with him in the previous advents. And that is what Baba had said when I first met him in Mahabaleshwar. And that was in fact second time. That time Baba had said that you have a long connection with me. And I know all your family. I have connection with them. And you are very fortunate that you have come to me. And you are very fortunate that you have come to me when I am in new life. These things were much given emphasis by Meher Baba when I met him all alone. But then before that, all my life, what are the factors which have led him to his doorsteps, that I am going to tell you today. You see, I lost my mother. Our family, they are originally from Maharashtra, but then most of them had shifted to Gujarat. They had taken up the jobs in the princely states like Burda state, Junagadh state, Rajkot state. All these states were there, and there were Nababs. And these people, they had taken jobs in their with these Nababs. Yeah. And that is how they have shifted to practically, since the time I know about the things, they have shifted to Gujarat, especially Junagadh, Rajkot, Ahmedabad. They have spread over all these people by forefathers. But then my father was here in Pune. As you know, that was a British rule on India. And the Britishers had their communication center at about 13, 14 kilometers from Pune. It was on the outskirts. Now it has come very close to the whole city. But those times it was outside of the city. And my father had taken a job there. He was very young then, but then married. And he was not very much educated. He must have completed only the primary education, and that too in Gujarati. But then academic qualification he may not have, but then his brain was very expert in mechanics. Any mechanism, he was very sharp in picking up the mechanism of any machinery. And he had taken a job in the powerhouse supplying electricity to Ahmedabad and area around. That powerhouse was run on coal. And he had taken a small job there. But then one of the officers of that organization, he took a job here in the communication center, which was very close to Pune city. As I said, about 13, 15 kilometers from Pune. And that he was an engineer. That engineer brought my father, young boy, my father, to this place to serve with this communication center, British organization. And that is how all my family members were here in that area was called a beam wireless station. Beam wireless station. Afterwards, after the independence, it was being called as Overseas Communication Service. So there, my father was employed, and of course, he was in charge with the oil engines. Top officers were all either Americans or English speakers. I lost my mother at a very early age when I must have been about 4 years old. And there was one younger brother after me also. And our life without mother, at such a young age, was just unimaginable in the sense that there was nobody to look after us. My father had his own responsibility of his job, and there was nobody to look after the children. Myself, my sister, my elder sister, and my elder brother. My eldest brother was about 14 years old then. I must have been about 7, 8 years old. At that time, my father died. First, my mother died, thereafter, my father died. And thereafter, the life of Pratap was more or less like an orphan. I had all relations, I had my stepmother also, because when my mother died, all the children were very small, and then my my paternal aunt, she just pursued my father to remarry, and that is how my stepmother came into our life, and she had three children thereafter. And after these three children, my father passed away. I was very much attached to my father because I could not get much love from my mother, but then I was very much attached to my father. And when my father passed away, one can imagine how my life could have been. I was being tossed from one house to another house, one relation to another relation for education purposes. The education of my elder brother was completely stopped. My sister's education was completely stopped. But the organization, the British organization, they, on mercy grounds, they took my eldest brother, who was only 14 years old, they took him on a job on the lathe machine as a trainee. That is just for the family to go on. And we had a very hard time then. And I was trying to complete my education for the purpose of education. I was at that age, I was cycling from Pune to from that area, that railway station, up to Pune camp, just behind. My high school was just behind Babajan's tomb. I used to cycle from there to and fro. And that was affecting badly on my health. So my stepmother, she kept me with one of my relations, my paternal aunt in Pune. And I completed there. The primary education was completed at that place, the original place only. But for high school purposes, I went to Pune, stayed with my paternal aunt, and completed my education up to fifth, sixth, seventh standard. In seventh standard, from there I was shifted to my cousin sister, who was also staying in Pune. I was shifted there and I started staying with my cousin sister. Now, you see how the course of life takes place. When I was staying there with my cousin sister. The brother of her husband, whose name was Ramchandra Gaikwad, he was a very top class singer. He was in Hyderabad. He was in Bolaram and used to sing Ramayana. That was his speciality. And he was a very good singer, very good singer. He came in search of a job in Pune. He took up a job in the military dairy farm in Pune. And my sister, my cousin sister, and her husband, and husband brother Ji Ramchandra Gaikwad, who was a singer, they started staying together, and I was put in that family for further education. When I was studying, once it so happened that that Ramchandra Gaikwad, he had come to know about Meher Baba. That time the activities of Meher Baba had just started. This is the year 1947 or so. Mr. Ramchandra Gadekar, the senior Gadekar, he had come. He had came to Pune on transfer. He was in a government job. He came to stay in Pune, and as his habit goes, he started telling the people about Meher Baba. And now there are three sources. One is this Gadekar comes and stays in Pune. Another is one young boy from Belgaum, that is from Thade family. Thade family is very famous in Baba's family because a very large family, but from top to bottom, the whole members of that family, they were very strong Baba lovers. That the senior most person, he had just completed the graduation, came to stay in Pune. And Suhadra, who became Madhusudan's wife thereafter, she also used to stay in her family house, which was in Pune. And because their similar liking, this Ramchandra Gaikad and Subhadra's father, that is Bandel family, they came to know each other and they started doing programs together, singing programs together. There was one saintly person by name Madi Baba. He was very nice person, very saintly person. Even Baba had very Baba had said that he was a very good saintly person. And that saintly person also recognized Meher Baba. Through that saintly person, so many people have come Baba lovers. Anyway, so then these singing programs had started already, and since Ramchandra Gadekar's coming to Pune on transfer, and he's telling the people about Meher Baba. This senior Thade, his name was Lakshmikant Thade. He was working under Gadekar. And through Gadekar, Lakshmikant Thade came to know about Meher Baba. And with common interest in singing, attending bhajan programs, from one person to another person, the name of Meher Baba kept on spreading amongst these young people. Now, how about myself? When I was staying with my cousin sister, once this Thade, Lakshmikant Thade, he had come to their house because he knew Ramchandra Gaikwad, and they had attended some singing programs together. When he saw me, I was sitting in a corner studying under the light of a lantern, and Mr. Thade asked my cousin sister, as to who is this boy, and she said that he is my cousin brother. He has lost both his parents, and he is staying with me for education. And Mr. Thade said to her, if I try for accommodation in a government hostel for him, whether you will like to keep him there. And she very thankfully said, it will be very good of you if you arrange for such an accommodation for him to stay in the hostel. That was a free hostel, everything free. That's a government hostel. And Mr. Thade was thereafter became the superintendent of that hostel. And this meeting, he is spotting me there at my sister place. that took place when he had become the superintendent of that hostel. He was in charge of about 80 boys. It was boys hostel, it was 80 boys. Some of the boys were elderly to him. They were taking education of graduation. And the hostel was from the high school up to graduation. Students who could stay in that hostel during this period, during this education course from 8th standard up to graduation. And that is how I was admitted in that government hostel on a special recommendation, in the sense that I was not much qualified about the admission. The condition of the admissions for me were unfavorable, but in that case, Mr. Thade had a very good relation with the topmost officer, the director, one by name Heble. Both were Kannadis. Thade was also from Kannada. He had come from Belgaum. And that Heble was from Kannada. They used to talk in Kannada. And Thade insisted that I want his wife in the hostel. And oh my luck, I got admission at hostel. And that is how I came in contact with Mr. L.B. Thade, and through him, I came to know about Meher Baba. See, the very hard time in my life had brought me to the doorsteps of Meher Baba. And I started staying in the hostel, attending my school, attending my studies. I started attending some of the Baba programs. There used to be program at Thade's house. That was in the evening, and I used to go there and sit there along with the singers. I also was very much fond of singing, so I used to go there and sing along with the Guru. Madhusudan used to go there, and all the other people, quite a good number of people used to come there, and we all used to sit there and sing. In the beginning, I was feeling very shy, but then I became quite used to all those other people also. Everybody started loving me. I also started having very good relations with all the people who used to gather there in Baba's name. And during that time, in Pune, there were several shops and houses where weekly Baba programs were going on. Now, Saturday evening program will be at Mr. Thade's place. The accommodation is a hostel. That was a big quarter allotted to Mr. Thade as a superintendent. Very big quarter. And it had a very big hall and a very nice atmosphere. Whenever we used to sit for singing bhajan, everything used to get very much charged with Baba's love. And then there used to be another program on Sunday morning at Bandel family, that is Subhadra's parents. They used to have a program in the morning on Sunday. Then on Thursday evening, there used to be a program at one by name Shinde. He was a footwear, he had a footwear shop, and a very nice person. All these people had come to know about Meher Baba, and they had become also very staunch followers of Meher Baba. And that is how my entry in that group of Baba lovers took place. The Poona Bhajan Mandali was in the preliminary stages of taking a shape. That time I came in contact with all these people. So my bad time had brought me to to this fortunate event in my life to be mingling with Baba people. Now we here in this hostel premises, the quarter of Mr. Lakshmikant Thade. After a few days, Dr. Gani started coming there. And Gani's contact with young boys had been so very helpful in the life of everyone who used to sit there listening to Dr. Gani's talks. He had a beautiful style of telling Baba stories. What he used to say is, he used to tell us all the old time stories. As we know that Dr. Gani was in his young age, when they were schooling together, they were staying next door in the same lane. And Dr. Gani and Meher Baba, Merwan, they were friends. They were playing together, they were fighting together, they were, all sorts of young age program they will have together. This is the very early time. But then that time had gone away. Dr. Gani, his father was transferred to Calcutta, and accordingly, Dr. Gani, as a young boy, he had to go to Calcutta. So there was a big gap of about 15, 16 years. And during that time, all these traditional changes in the life of Merwan took place. Merwan's meeting with Babajan's kiss, Merwan going into that state of ecstasy, spiritual ecstasy, and that was about 10, 11 months. And thereafter, Baba meeting with all these Sadhguru. It takes place thereafter. And after a long gap of many years, Dr. Gani returned to Pune. And then these two friends met each other thereafter. What I mean to say that when Dr. Gani used to give talks in the group of these young boys and girls, he used to tell the stories of their childhood. How they used to play cricket together. How used to play marbles together. How used to run after the kites. How they used to play Atta Patta and Indian games, Kabaddi, Atta Patta, all that. All these stories Dr. Gani was telling us. And his style of telling was so very beautiful that we were so much engrossed in all his talks. And we were trying to grasp everything that comes from his mouth. Very interesting time. And during that time, Dr. Gani had created a sort of very firm conviction in the minds of in the hearts of these young boys and girls. I tell you, during those days, I was very new. And from the beginning, we knew Meher Baba is the avatar of the age. He is God in human form. He is a God like Lord Krishna, Lord Ram, like Buddha, like Jesus. That conviction was created in our hearts right from the beginning. In the story of Meher Baba, life story of Meher Baba, it has been emphasized that Baba had declared himself to be avatar in Hamirpur district in Merastana. That was there. But then we young people, we started believing Meher Baba to be the avatar right from the beginning. And believe me, that, and mind well, that Upasni Maharaj also had declared, said that Meher, you are the avatar. And he had, before when he had come to this Adi's family for the marriage of Adi's elder brother Rustam, that time he had told the family that Meherwan is the avatar as Zoroaster. Meherwan is your Zoroaster. So that was earlier to that declaration in Hamirpur, in Merastana. All these conviction which was passed on to us, that was much before that declaration. And I personally started believing that Baba is the avatar of the age, without knowing what exactly avatar means, how he comes down on this earth, what is his function on this earth, how the people become devoted to him. Without knowing anything about that, as we were told, Baba is the avatar, Baba is the avatar. That was the firm conviction was passed on to us. Then Dr. Gandhi had very emphatically said that he had given in the lecture also in the Theosophical Society that Meher Baba is the advent of God and this earth for the present time. And all that group which was sitting around Dr. Ghani, they had that firm conviction right from the beginning that Meher Baba is the avatar of the age. Much after that, there was some discussion about just casual Baba sitting in Guruprasad. Much after that, and this is a little diversion I am telling you. When we sitting there with Baba, one of our colleagues by name Rangoli, he became after a trustee of the trust, main Meher Baba trust. So that Rangoli, he was an inmate of that hostel. He was very senior to me, but he was studying at the hostel. And he was very strong Baba lover. And we were all sitting in Guruprasad before Baba. And Rangoli, his name was Rangoli. Rangoli bring to Baba's notice that Baba is Pratap's nature is very quarrelsome nature. Now, Meher Baba is the what should say. When Baba listens to this complaint, it was not a complaint, but just casual talk was going on. And Rangoli says, Baba, that Pratap's nature is very quarrelsome. And Baba says, why you say so? How you say that he is quarrelsome? So Rangoli says, Baba, his boy does not compromise with the fact of calling you as the avatar of the age. If somebody calls you as Sadguru, he becomes very much disturbed and shouts, no, Baba is the avatar. He will he will, forcefully say, without caring whether the person talking with him is an elderly person, without even having any thought that person like Gadekar, very senior person, very old time in Baba's contact. Even before such people, is Pratap will emphasize, no, Baba is the avatar, no, Baba is the avatar. And then he will start quarreling. And Baba is just laughing. And then ultimately Baba said, no, it's not so. He is very quiet. I see him. He always sits very quiet. That is what Baba opined about me. That was much after. But then early period, when we were sitting around Dr. Gani, Dr. Gani has said everything about Baba and about Baba's Mandali, about Baba's way of working, about what different phases in the early times, all the phases of Baba's stay in Toka, Rahuri, Nashik, and the nature of each and every person in Baba's Mandali. He had a very humorous way of describing all these early days. And also their life with Baba in Mandile. All these stories Dr. Venus talked to us, and then we were taking much interest in listening to these stories. This went on, right from the, and of course, the other people, senior people, Gadekar, he also used to give talks certain times. Then one person by name Sule, elderly person by name Sule, he was also there. He also used to give talk. But Gani was the main person who was dealing with a young group of Pune. Gadekar was very close to the business class people. They were elderly people. They were in business. And he was spending quite good time with those people, telling them about Mir Baba. And occasionally he will come to us and give talk. But the main responsibility of preparing this young group was taken up by Dr. Gani. Along with Dr. Gani, especially at the house of Bandelu, Subhadra's parents, when there was a program in the morning time, Khak Sahib, he also used to invariably come to that place, that program in the morning. He never used to. Occasionally he must have come few times, but then who are not very much regular in the third place, where Dr. Gai used to give much talk. But then at Banduri place also, the role of Khak was just silent listener. Khak Sahib was also a very knowledgeable person. He has a good depth of Baba's life, Baba's greatness, and he was poet also. So he was not an ordinary person, but then on his own he had preferred to keep silent as a silent listener. And the whole, even at Bandelu's place, but the responsibility of giving talk was with Dr. Gani. This went on. Dr. Gani was not coming, not attending the other program. Very occasionally, when anything special is there, then he will, on our request, he will attend. But then, most his main focus was on the young group gathering at the hostel, the big quarter of Mr. Lakshmikant Tadi at the hostel. That was the main place where Dr. Gani used to attend. And this went on till 49. In the year 49, Baba declared his new life. Baba declared his new life. And now, as far I am concerned, I was moving with, I was very keenly listening to Baba, Dr. Gani's talks. But about the other aspects of Baba's new life and all these things, even Baba's silence, I had a very little, I won't say knowledge, but little feel about that. For me, to love Baba as avatar of the, that was enough. Not to go into the further details of other things. That was my attitude then. I was too young then to understand all these things. And especially Baba's new life, even now, even today, I have not understood it properly. Maybe some people must have understood, but not. I cannot claim that I have understood Baba's new life. And also Baba's silence. Just before Dr. Gani was chosen to accompany Baba in new life. It was not entirely Gani's choice. In fact, it was a indirect wish expressed by Meher Baba. And on that express wish by Meher Baba, Gani had joined new life. Now the conditions of new life were very strange. Gani had his own family. Gani had one son and four, I am not mistaken, 4 girls. His wife, he had his own family. And to leave that family, forget about that whole family, renounce their whole connection with the family and going after Baba. That was a very hard decision for him. But then he decided to go with Baba. There are other people also that. So in the year 1949 or so, there was a much talk about Baba's new life, which was to start on 16th of October 1949. It was to start from Nagar, from Nagar. I would say from Nagar station. Baba's walk, initially started walking. That Baba's circulars and meeting and all that was the talk of the time. Senior members used to discuss about that. We young people used to just listen to all what is happening around us without much knowing or very much taking interest in deep into it. We are not coupled to do that also. I had given 1 month silence in the 1949 or so, just prior to your life. That time there were some options. The options were either to observe silence for the 12 full month, or have one meal during the whole period of 1 month. Some such conditions where some people have chosen to go on and live on one meal, and some who were free to observe silence. They took silence. That was the time, and thereafter Gani went on new life. And in Pune, the programs were much. There had been a very big setback because of Dr. Gani going away in new life, because nobody had that capacity which Gani had to give talks. People used to give talks like Mr. Sule, elderly person, Mr. Sule, Mr. Gadikar. Some such people used to give talk, but then that absence was Gani was much felt. Somehow the program kept on going till 16th October 1950, when Baba had held a big meeting in Mahabaleshwar. 16th October 1950, exactly after 1 year. Now up to this time, I have not seen Mir Baba. I have just heard so many things about Mir Baba. I have just heard Gani's life with Mir Baba in details. They are playing together, they are fighting together, and Gundaism together, gang wars together, running up the kites. All that stories we used to listen to. And as the doctor had Gadi said that all these young boys and girls, Dr. Gandhi say, this is the costliest diamond I place in your hands. This is the costliest diamond I am placing in your hands. Don't miss, even at the cost of your life. That was a lesson which was given by him. And that had been imbibed in our mind so much that we never in our lifetime thereafter, we never made any compromise with that feeling. That Mir Baba is the highest being in our personal lives of all of us individually. Everyone's life, Mir Baba is the uppermost. This feeling was perfectly fit into our lives. Now, the next time is Saturday after one Saturday in between. Next time, I will just take up the our meeting, personally meeting with Mir Baba, and thereafter my personal one-on-one meeting with Mir Baba. That is a big subject, requires to be described in details, that I will take up in the next time. Before that, I will just take very little time, 15 minutes. So I will sing one song for you, a beautiful song. In the early time, when I talked about this Ramchandra Gaikwad, a good singer, Subhadra was also a very good singer. During that time, this particular song, it was popular song then. Ramchandra Gaikwad used to sing it very often. It was his favorite song, and he used to sing it very beautifully. And it was sung before Baba also in Mahabaleshwar. That I will tell you next time. But that song I am going to sing today. Before starting the song, I'll just give you the meaning of it. A beautiful composition, I think. Very meaningful. Yes. Before this song, there is a doha. We call doha. This is a supporting lines, but this is not a part of the song. The four lines are मठ मंदिर गुरुद्वारे अंदर फिरता करे तलाश, मन मंदिर को नहीं ठिठोला जहां राम का वास. The meaning of these two lines is that you have been searching God through mandirs, masjids, churches, gurudwara. Everywhere we keep on searching for God. But you have never looked for God within yourself. God is residing there all the time, but you have never looked within yourself. Jahan Ram ka vas, where Ram resides, that is in your heart. You never looked into your heart. You have simply kept on searching him outside. तन को जोगी सब करे, मन को बिरला कोई. तन को जोगी सभी करे, मन को बिरला कोई. सब सीधे सहज में पाए, जो मन जोगी होए. Everybody decorates oneself in outer look, putting on the clothes of an ascetic, and posing oneself as one who has renounced the whole world. There are saintly persons like that. The poet says that everybody decorates outside. The decoration from outside, wearing ochre color clothes, growing beard, growing hair, all this outer look, everybody does. But nobody decorates one's own heart, one's own mind and heart. तन को जोगी सभी करे, मन को बिरला कोई. That outside, from outside, you pose yourself to have renounced the whole world. But in your heart, you are still attached to the worldly life. There, you are not renounced the thought of the world from your mind. Your mind is still there attached to the worldly thing. That is what he says. And then last line he says, सब सीधे सहज में पाइए जो मन जोगी. One who has made his mind as an ascetic, he gets everything. He gets everything in his life. That is the 4 lines, beginning lines, and then main song starts like this. जोगी तूने रंगे कपड़े मन को नहीं रंगाया. The same meaning that you have colored yourself outside, but you are not colored your mind, heart. अंदर घर को सूना छोड़ा बाहर साज सजाया. You are decorated yourself from outside, but inside you are left it unattended. पगले कैसा काम अधूरा दुनिया देख बुलाया. This is a work which you have done. It's a partial renunciation of the world. Unless you renounce outer renunciation and inside renunciation, when you renounce to your heart also, then it becomes a full renunciation. But what you do now is your partial renunciation only showing out from outside. खोज में इस नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस, खोज में इसके बन बन ढूंढा बन बन ठोकर खाया. तेरे हृदय का तार न बोले तो क्यों झूठे लेते हिंडोले फीका शोर मचाया. The meaning is that you have wandered through jungles and fields and mountains in search of God. Tumbling down through many obstacles, you have tried to search God. लेकिन a real search from your heart, you have never done that. So you have kept half done, kept that work half done. देख ले जगह का कोना कोना फिर भी तुझको हो जाना. If you search out every nook and corner of this world, and what you will find when you find something there, you will weep and weep and weep. प्रेमी बन उसके मार्ग में नैना क्यों न बिछाया. You have to become his lover, and you fix up your attention for him to come in the scope of your eyes. That's a beautiful song, very famous song in those time. I'm going to sing it now for you. I do not know how much. मठ मंदिर गुरुद्वारे फिरता करतना मन मंदिर को नहीं खितोला जहाँ मन मंदिर को नहीं ठिठोला जहाँ राम का तन को जोगी सब करे मन को बिरला को सब सीधे सहजने जो मन जोगी तूने रंगे कपड़े मन को नहीं रंगाया, ओ मन को नहीं रंगाया, तूने रंगे कपड़े अंदर घर को सुना छोड़ा, बाहर साज सजाया, बाहर साज सजाया, अंदर घर को सुना छोड़ा, बाहर साज सजाया, तुमने कैसा दुनिया ने खबुलाया, मन को नहीं रंगाया, ओ मन को नहीं रंगाया, जोगी तूने रंगे कपड़े मन को नहीं रंगाया, ओ मन को नहीं रंगाया। उसके बन बन ढूंढा, बन बन ठोकर खाया, बोले फीका शोर मचाया, मन को नहीं रंगाया, मन को नहीं रंगाया, तूने रंगे कपड़े मन को नहीं रंगाया, ओ मन को नहीं रंगाया। देख ले जगता कोना कोना, देख ले जगता कोना कोना, फिर भी तुझको होगा रोना, देख ले जगता कोना कोना, फिर भी तुझको होगा रोना, के मांग में नैना क्यों न बिछाया, मन को नहीं रंगाया, मन को नहीं रंगाया, तूने रंगे कपड़े मन को नहीं रंगाया, मन को नहीं रंगाया, जोगी जोगी। जय बाबा, जय बाबा, जय बाबा।
अच्छा,
थैंक यू
प्रताप जी, ये कबीर जी का कहना है, कबीर सॉन्ग, you know who wrote this song?
Now I think we will be meeting next to next Friday. Is it correct?
See, I mean, Jyoti ji, we are meeting every second and
What
fourth.
I intend to do, I will be resuming the story, actual darshan with Baba. All these topic thereafter is very much, what should I say, full of different happenings.
Right. So we are
Time.
Pratap ji.
Next.
Yeah. Pratap, can you hear me?
ऐकू येतंय का तुम्हाला? ऐकू येतंय?
Jai Baba. Can you hear me, Pratap ji? Hello? Jai Baba. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There is some problem in the.
Yeah. No, that's fine. So we'll talk about it. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries. Yeah.
So what I was saying is that next session, I feel that I will be, as far as the singing part is concerned, I may take even Marathi song, telling what the meaning of it. There are some of the abhangs of Tukaram.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Last time when I sang about the song on Ram, Prakash, have you found out who is the poet of that song?
Which song, Pratap ji? I forgot. Yeah, sorry. Maybe.
The name was Ravi Sharma.
Oh.
The name, last time when I sang one song on Ram.
Oh, okay. Ravi Sharma.
The name of the poet was Ravi Sharma.
Okay.
So I may take up some. I had made one experiment, and you must have known about it by this time, that not just before last Amar Tithi, we had prepared, myself and Prasad, we had prepared some of the Westerners, Alan, then Bob Freddy,
John.
Then
John.
This
John
that
Gustav.
name.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
John, the French man, and among the ladies, the prominent ladies was Fiddle.
Haidar. Okay.
There were few others. I don't remember the name. Ted was also there. These people, we had set one Tukaram Abhang.
Oh.
And they have performed so beautifully.
Oh, nice.
They had practiced well.
Oh, good.
And during Amar Tithi, they had presented that song.
Oh.
As if some Indians are singing.
Beautiful.
Very nicely practiced.
Yeah.
So I may prepare translate some of the Tukaram's beautiful abhangs, which Baba used to like.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
And of course, some ghazals and something of that sort. So let us wait till then for the next session.
Yeah.
So today I think anybody has to say anything about any question about whatever has been said about today. Any doubt, any question?
Any questions, anybody? Yeah. Any questions, anybody?
Yeah. Pratap, your stories are precious to us. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. Betty is saying your stories are very good, beautiful. And Eva has some question as well. Eva, Jai Baba, go ahead.
Jai Baba, this is my first time here, and I agree with Betty. Your stories are so precious, and I hope you continue doing this. I would also love to know what Meher Baba felt like to you. What was your first impression? I've heard that he feels like family and that he just felt like love, and I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Pratapji, can you hear us? Yeah, maybe some voice issues. At this time, so maybe we'll all, Eva, keep that question in mind and we can ask again. At this time, thank you, Pratapji. We'll all say Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
EJ.
Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
EJ.
Thank you. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
you.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. And Jonathan is also there, Pratapji.
Yeah,
Jonathan and Rosalie are also there.
Rosalie.
Jonathan and Rosalie from Myrtle Beach.
Jai Baba, Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Thank you, Pratap. Thank Jai Baba.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Jai Baba.
Thanks, Betty, for coming.
Jai Baba, Jonathan.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.